Hey everyone, it's Nick with the Whip Shop, and on today's video we're going to be looking at this beautiful 8-foot 16 plat nylon bullwhip by Claudiu of Romania. I received an email from Claudiu several weeks ago, and in it I saw some beautiful images of whips that he made over the past few months. In late December of 2021, Claudiu saw a post on Facebook of one of the local whip makers in Romania, and he was kind of overtaken by this beautiful craft that whip making is. And he said to himself, I have to do that. I am gonna make that whip. So he started kind of browsing the internet for different forums. He came across some of my videos, and he describes it as not being able to sleep. And this is something that I went through in the same way when I first started getting into whips. It was this new craft that I was just so into, so drawn to. It overtook my world, and it was all I could think about. And that's something that I enjoy so much about new crafts or hobbies. I love that driven feeling that we get when we see something that we want to do. We don't know how to do it yet, but by golly, we're going to find out how to do it. And that's something that makes someone so good at a particular craft. And here is the proof, guys. When I saw these images of whips made by Claudiu, I thought that I was looking at pictures of whips made by a seasoned whip maker who had been making them for maybe a year, maybe 2 years. And I saw, thanks for your videos, they've helped me. And I thought, okay, you're very welcome. I'm glad they've been inspirational and helpful to you. But then when I read the story and saw how little time Claudiu has in whip making, I was blown away. The plaiting on this whip and all the rest of the whips and the images here that you see on the screen, everything is so nice. The knots are perfectly uniform, the color choices, the taper. There are no spaces in the plaiting. Something that a newer whip maker oftentimes struggles with, I did for sure, is the tendency to drop strands too soon. If you drop strands too soon, what happens is you get gaps, especially on the second half of the whip. As I'm looking at this whip right now, Claudiu, he holds back the temptation to drop strands too soon, and as a result, we get something like this. There isn't a single space in this whip that I can see. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the specifications of this whip. Here on the handle, we have a 10-inch 6mm varnished steel rod, is what he used. Immediately after the handle, we have a 10-inch loaded core of 4.5mm BBs. And 10 inches is kind of that sweet spot, I think, for a BB loaded core, especially this whip being 8 feet. Here we have a 7x6 2-pass Turk set knot on the heel. And when I turn this way, a beautiful little concho is revealed there. Something that I really like that Claudiu did is, instead of it just being a flat concho, it has a dome shape. And he encouraged that dome shape by kind of taking the edges of that heel knot and folding them over very gently so where it's rounded off. And because of that, it's even more comfortable in the hand. The plaiting on the handle looks good too. One way to make a quick reference to straight plaiting is to look at it like this and just turn it and look down here with your eye. Everything is so straight. Looking at the transition of the whip, nice springiness. Let's see the rollout. Very nice. Now, Claudiu used a combination of hockey tape and nylon thread for the binding of both bellies. In addition to that, both bellies are plaited in a single strand diamond plait right at the transition for 2 to 3 inches. And this is something that I also do now because a single strand diamond plait is a much more rigid plaiting pattern. There's more strands going and under and over other strands, and as a result, it's stiffer. The transition of your whip is the area of the whip that takes the most leverage force or stress. Of course, the end of the whip takes more of the beating because it's going faster than sound, but this part just takes more of a beating in terms of leverage, force, and bending. So using that single strand diamond pattern is something that I strongly agree with, and it makes your whip transitions even better. Strands were dropped on the bellies using the method where you just pull the strand out, cut them, melt them, and press them into the belly. And that's something that I also do and recommend. As we work our way down the whip, we come to the end here. And Claudiu has ended this whip in a 4-point fall hitch, a nice streamline, rounded off half hitch section there. We have a nice, it's about a 24-inch nylon fall. Claudiu used the method where he fed the paracord inside of itself for halfway, and then right about here, it drops off and it's just one strand of gutted paracord. And there is the cracker. Something I want to start doing on this channel when I do review a whip from a whip maker is talk about their highest, what I believe to be their highest strength as a whip maker. And I think that Claudiu's highest strength is plaiting, attention to plaiting. It's, again, something I don't oftentimes see in a whip maker who has only been making whips for several months. Now, for those of you who are watching this video in Romania right now, and you're in need of a custom nylon whip, I would highly recommend contacting your neighbor Claudiu and having a custom whip made, because I have had a chance to try this whip out, I've had a chance to look it over, and I highly recommend it. Right there in the upper right-hand corner, that is the name of Claudiu's Facebook page for whip making. There's also a link in the description that you can click on. It'll take you directly to the website itself. So with that being said, let's take this whip out into the field and test crack it. All right, so here we are out in the field right now. Behind me, we have the beautiful sound of chainsaws. So I don't feel bad about cracking this whip and making a ruckus in the park. Let's take a look at the rollout on Claudiu's 8-foot 16 plat bullwhip. Wonderful, look at that. Very nice, Claudiu, nice job. Let's go ahead and start with a few overhead cracks. Nice and slow. We'll take it through a few routines here. And of course we have the target stand here today, and we're going to see how this whip does cutting some targets. Of course, being mid-May, we have a large supply of dandelions. Very accurate whip. Very nice. Straight as an arrow. Let's do a few more. Now, because this whip is in fact 8 feet long, I find it very easy to cut vertical targets such as this. And we're going to do so by stepping back. The cracker is now directly below the dandelion. And I'm just going to have the whip trailing behind me like this, and then just pop it forward like that and do a little side flick and cut that target. I am going to be aiming a little bit higher than my intended striking point, because the longer the whip, the more you have gravity working against you, so you have to compensate and aim a little bit higher. Wow, look at that. I want to make a quick reference to something that I think is important. Watch how this whip cracks when I just flick it real lightly. Now notice right now how I'm still getting this whip to crack with such little effort. And that's a true testament to good weight distribution in a whip. Claudiu did a nice job with this whip. I think I just cut a piece off the bottom there. There we go. Let's do a couple more here. Wow, this is one of my new favorite target whips, Claudiu. Very nice. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Claudiu, thank you so much for sending me this whip. You're a fantastic whip maker, and you show so much skill for being a whip maker that hasn't been making whips for so long. So thanks again. I wish you the best of luck in your whip making career in your country. And for everyone else, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.